Yet when we take a step back and look over the span of history at what we might call the petroleum interval, it's a short period in history where we've discovered this extraordinary material and then based a whole way of life around it. But as we straddle the top of this energy mountain at this stage, we move from a time where our economic success, our sense of individual prowess and well-being is directly linked to how much of this we consume, to a time when actually our degree of oil dependency is our degree of vulnerability. We only discover one, and that gap continues to widen. There's also the fact that the amount of energy that we get back from the oil that we discover is falling. In the 1930s, we got 100 units of energy back for every one that we put into extraction. World, but of those 65 have already passed their peak. The moment when the world on average passes this peak, people wonder when that's going to happen. And there's an emerging case that maybe that was what happened last July when the oil prices were so high. But are we to assume that the same brilliance and creativity and adaptability that got us up to the top of that energy mountain in the first place is somehow mysteriously going to evaporate when we have to design a creative way back down the other side? No. But the thinking that we have to come up with has to be based on a realistic... that we need to make in carbon over the next 40 years to avoid runaway climate change. We have no choice other than deep and urgent decarbonisation. But I'm always very interested to think about what might the stories be that the generations further down the slope from us are going to tell about us. The generation that lived at the top of the mountain, that partied so hard and so abused its inheritance. And one of the ways I like to do that is to look back at the stories people used to tell before we had cheap oil, before we had fossil fuels, and people relied on their own muscle, animal muscle energy, and a little bit of wind, a little bit of water. We had stories like the 7-league boots, the giants who had these boots where once you put them on, with every stride you could cover 7 leagues or 21 miles, a kind of travel completely unimaginable.
Make it a good day, honey. I don't care about your money, do all the things you want to do. We can make a rendezvous that's through the night, my friend. This time we stay until the end. Up on the hill you have to follow. See the sun rising on the China.
We don't appreciate what an astonishing thing that has been. And one of the stories that we tell ourselves now as we look forward about where we're going to go. And I would argue that there are
make it a good day. That's not that far away. It can be such hard. Try it out and start. Messiah's fellow, they will show you the right way. Now asking isn't always smart, it's obligation to take part. Come to the sea, my dear, watch the waves and have no fear. To leave your plan beyond perfection, seeking for unfilled action.